Hi, welcome to Mash Artist Makeup. Today I will show you how I created this look with these really sharp edges using tape. Any kind of tape will work. I just had this on hand, so this is the brand I've used. Get a nice long piece, line it up directly at the angle of the bottom line of lashes, and then out to the corner, wherever you want your wing to go, and press it down firmly, not too tight. Make sure you can blink and it's not poking you and it's somewhat comfortable. Do the same thing to the other side, but this time you need to be very careful to line it up to match. Don't just put it wherever you feel like, because you want your angles to be very, very similar, if not the same. So line it up the same way you did. Try to make sure the amount of space from the end of your eyebrow is exactly the same to the tape on both sides. That'll really help give you a clue. And then you can always reline it up and kind of tighten it. And this is when I do my double check to make sure those wings are going in the same direction. They're about the same angles and distances away from the end of my eyebrows. And then I get started with a little concealer. This on both eyes. And then I'm going to use a mini beauty blender to push that all in. Pushing that in to my skin and all around. This will create a beautiful base for my eyeshadows. I'm using Esmeralda palette by Beauty Creations, and I'll be using a few different colors here. The white cream color on the corner, I'm going to be using that kind of as using that as a powder, as an all over, to lighten the top, give it a nice glow, so everything will have a nice easy blend. Doing this with a lighter shade also kind of acts as a finishing powder or setting powder, preventing any creases in the eyes. Next, I'm going in with that warm orangish brick color next to it. I'm just going to apply this all over the bottom lower half of the eyelid and then kind of blending it up into that top half. Very, very light. I'm not going for a dramatic look. I'm going for very blended with this. Then I'm going in with a little bit more burnt orange color and kind of fading that towards the sides to create an ombre in the eye. And I will continue this on both sides, going up all the way to the tape, up to the crease, really blending in very well at that crease, and then kind of bringing it up to the corners, outer corners. And when I've done both sides, I'm going to use that fluffy brush that I applied the white with and just go through and really blend everything, especially on that top half. And I'm going to go in with my go-to liner, Black Track Pro Longwear. Beautiful liner, starting with the inner corners. I'm going to slowly create a line that gets thicker towards the outer edge because I'm going to do a pretty dramatic wing. So it's going to end up getting pretty thick, but I always like to start small and have room to build than have to take way more time covering up. Always connecting the outers to the inners and then creating that solid line after you have a method of where you want to go. Once you've got that framework in, you can go through and darken it and build it, but I suggest before getting one side totally finished, creating that framework on the other eye so that you can make sure that they're catching up evenly instead of having to go through and spend a lot of time over-correcting a line that just is way too thick. Once you are sure about it, go in with a nice full layer. Add a couple layers. Get dark with that liner. Whatever you're using, you can't overuse it. You don't have to worry about the actual shade being now that you have it perfect. So you could just kind of go in with those layers, make sure you don't have any holes, any lighter spots, and you are all set. Once you think that is perfect, you are going to slowly remove that tape. Boom. Slowly remove that other side. And see, on this side there is a little bit of cleanup work, but that is so minimal. Now go through with your concealers, do that bottom half, get it nice and thick. Use a little tiny thin concealer shaper and just clean up that little bitties. See, I'm kind of glad I had something that wasn't perfect so I could show you what to, if you're doing this at home and it doesn't come out perfect, you now know how to fix it. Now I'm just going to go all the way through and blend all that concealer all the way in, creating a seamless look, really gently patting that under eye because I am going to go in with a red, sparkly light red to kind of create a little bit of a blowout underneath. I don't want it to go too high up into that perfect clean line that we have on the sides, but I do want to have something a little more dramatic. I feel like it's a little light and it just needs a little more color. I like bold, and so this is kind of a lighter look for me, so I still got to make it my style. It still needs to suit me. And then take a clean fluffy brush with some setting powder and clean up any droppings of red. I'm going to throw on some Studio Fix concealing powder, foundation powder I mean, all over, very full coverage. Really just make that perfect. And once that's done, pop on lashes. I like to do that off camera, but you can see my how-to lash video. And then mascara. Never rush with this. I mention that all the time. It's so important to, not overwork yourself and have to clean up on all that hard work you just created. Again, with the eyelashes, thick coats so they really stick onto those falsies. And then using my tool to snap that together. Push, 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 nice and slow. Never rush on this because you don't want to rip off or mess up any of that wet mascara. And then you have it. You are all done. Slow turn, super crisp lines, easy, super neutral, soft blending, but it still looks very dramatic with a nice pop. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and have as much fun with this clean, dramatic look as I did. A little fun action. And please don't forget to like that link below. Always subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching, guys.